PlayStation is rolling out the ability for players to change their PlayStation network later today, launching a feature that has been long requested and was tested through a limited beta last October. Developers with games on PlayStation 4 might already be aware of some of the complications that came with the new feature, and PlayStation has elaborated on those in a blog post detailing the full launch. In short, the company guarantees that games published after April 1, 2018 will take to any changed pin is without a hitch. Games published before that date, however, are potentially a different story. Specifically, PlayStation says that the large majority of most actively played PS4 games support the feature, and has a list of games tested, with 8 changes that have either no known issues identified, or critical issues that it is urging players to read before changing is. The list only offers information on the severity of those issues, not the specific problems players may experience with each game. If they opt to change their name, so it may be up to the developers themselves to offer up that information to their players. Any game on the Games with Issues Identified list could display pre-change pin is in-game, cause links between games and pin accounts to temporarily, but not irreversibly, break or lose things like saved controller and audio settings. Games with critical issues, a list that only includes 10 games tested with pin changes, could lose in-game currency after a player's pin change, as well as lose in-game scores and trophy progress. Issues with online play and other issues. PlayStation outright does not recommend that players change their online if they wish to continue playing that game without losing its entitlements and achievements which you have already bought or released. It is possible to incur permanent game errors or data loss as a result of using the feature. The first pin change is free, but players will have to pay $9.99 for each change after that very first one. Unlike username changes on other services, changing a pin does not free up the old username, and PlayStation users have the ability to change back to any previous it for free as many times as they want. The post also notes that pin changes are not supported by either PlayStation 3 or PlayStation Vita systems or games. Valve has updated the Steam Store interface to make browsing for DLC much easier. This schedule is especially helpful for developers who have released lots of gags for their games, as this new format gives players less clutter to sift through. As detailed in a blog post, all games that feature DLC now have a dedicated page for add-on content, and developers now have the ability to label and sort their content into different lists. For example, developers can create separate DLC lists for items like cosmetics, characters, or texture packs, etc. Before the update, DLC was previously displayed in a list format with prices next to each item. Clicking on those products would pull up more information. A preview of the different DLC options will still be shown on the main start page, and selecting View All next to the DLC section will pull up on display which features each DLC item with screenshots and other relevant info. The Gamasutra job board is the most diverse, active and established board of its kind for the video game industry. Here is just one of the many positions being advertised right now. Location: Memphis, Tennessee. Responsible for engaging, stewarding and growing the street should play live community to support new and existing video game initiatives and partnerships. Responsibilities include daily communication with donors and fundraisers through email, social media, and other communications channels, developing and iterating a social messaging and engagement strategy, identifying key members of the street, should play life community for future cultivation, collaborating with other members of the street, should play life team on program tasks, identifying and implementing the ways for the program team to work with the community, speaking from a place of knowledge to groups of fundraisers and donors, and other duties that support the overall fundraising efforts of LSEC. Main programs include, but not limited to street, should play live, works with senior management of the Field Operations Department, Marketing, the Enterprise Contact Center, and Field Operations Regional staff to develop and support the overall digital engagement strategy in support of LSEC's revenue goals. LSEC is an equal employment opportunity employer. LSEC does not discriminate against any individual with regard to race, color, religion, sex, national origin, age, sexual orientation, gender identity, transgender status, disability, veteran status, genetic information, or other protected status. Interested? Apply now. Whether you are just starting out, looking for something new, or just seeing what's out there, the Gamasutra job board is the place where game developers move ahead in their careers. Gamasutra's job board is the most diverse, most active, and most established board of its kind in the video game industry, serving companies of all sizes, from indie to AAA. Looking for a new job? Get started here. Are you a recruiter looking for talent? Post jobs here. The 2019 Game Developers Conference will feature an exhibition called GDCDADICATEDTOGAMES that uses alternative control schemes and interactions. Gamasutra will be talking to the developers of each of the games that have been selected for the showcase. Machinery, a device that lets players manipulate the emotions of the audience through how they present the news, exploring media's use of similar methods. Gamasutra spoke with Giovanni Beltran, director of Machineria, to talk about why they wanted to explore how the media plays with viewers' emotions through how the news is presented, how they use their unique controller to make the player personally explore those moral dilemmas, and the importance of thinking on the news and information we are presented within our links. I am Giovanni Beltran and I am the lead programmer and the director of this project. We are a group of friends with different skills. We really enjoy participating in game jams as a way to experiment with different mechanics and test our craft. For 3 years, we have been running a YouTube channel about different aspects of game design and development in Spanish, with interviews, talks, and games analysis regarding the games made by different members on the team. We have been part of various titles. Evil Glitch, developed by Giovanni Beltran, King of the X, Concept Art and QA lead Bitmoteo, Robio, and Evasion, music composed by Juan Garcia. We also have some notable game jam participations. Short-Term Battery by Matteo Robio and Democracy Times by Giovanni Beltran, both finalists in the Adventure Jam 2018. As a team, we have 2 game jam participations, Luden der 42 with the Legend of the Looter and the Incredible Backpack that never runs out of space, and Game Maker's Toolkit Jam 2018 with Slow Ride. In this game, the player operates a retro-futuristic machine that was created to analyze and edit news that will be presented on TV to influence the public opinion. The player will select and sort the images associated with an event in order to evoke a specific emotion, and by using a complex optimization system, the player would be able to increase its impact on the audience. For the hardware, we use Eagle to design and test the circuits, and Adobe Illustrator to build the plans and laser cut. Regarding the software, machinery runs on a Raspbian with a Python backend and a JavaScript frontend. For coding, we use Sublime Text, Visual Code, and Vim. Music and audio were created using Ableton Live and Reaper. For the physical device, we use acrylic and wood to make the case. The different parts of the machine are composed of our own PCB, printed circuit board.
ARASPBERRYP3.
F5. Display.